from last week's little guilt trip that I hope I sent a few of you on.
Remind them what it was.
So we had a little PowerPoint presentation where we talked about a few strange things of family history and looking at things a little differently.
Well, we've been active for about over 50 years, and so we're pretty good at ignoring guilt trips.
Oh, okay.
Way to go, Bob.
Well, folks, guilt is the gift that keeps on giving. So, you know,
That's right.
we all lean back to our Jewish heritage in that, I think.
Okay.
Apparently, there were no comments on that whatsoever.
Apparently, we didn't give anybody a guilt trip. So.
All right.
Well, we got on late. What was that about?
The guilt trip.
No, but for what?
Last week's training, the PowerPoint that I gave last week.
Do you have all your family history work
Did
done?
you get all your 6 million family members found?
6 million. Oh, we only got 1 million, I think.
Okay.
Okay. You got 5 more weeks to work on it. Okay, last week, Calvin, and I don't see Calvin on here today, but he asked if we could go to the Family History Center to scan pictures. And we called Topham's, and they have approval from Salt Lake that starting on the 5th of October, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, that people can call the center. You can't do it online, but you can call the center and make an appointment to go and scan pictures. So that's after October the 5th. So that's after General Conference.
Very
Okay,
good.
and we'll try to put that in our little brochure that we send out.
Why don't you wait till we have a chance and then tell everybody else?
Oh, okay. No,
So what is the functionality that they have there for scanning photos?
they have a high-speed scanner. So let's say that you have, well, I'll let him because he worked on the scanner a lot.
I get to speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
They have 3 setups that they've socially distanced now, from what I understand. So they've moved them around the center. And so that would allow us to go in and utilize those. They used to be sitting right by each other. But they have both a high-speed scanners, which you just put a stack of pictures in it, and it takes it through like a regular letter scanner and just one right after the other and does it very quickly, as well as flatbed scanners that are just legal size. Also, though, if you want to do, if you have any books or histories of that type, we can scan those. There's optical character recognition where we can convert those to text, so you can use Word or anything with it. We also can do digital recordings from cassette tapes. If you want to do that.
Do them over to an MP3.
We can also digitize slides, any 35mm slides, or if you just have the negatives, we can digitize those and turn them into positives.
Yeah, the one that is underutilized is some of you might have, let's say, 50 or 60 pages of a history. To take that down, scan it in, it makes it a PDF file, puts it all together, and then it's uploadable to Family History, so, or FamilySearch, so that you only have one file that you're uploading. When you go down to do that, make sure that you take a USB stick with you, because everything will be saved over on a USB.
Great. Do you know what, for the photos, do you know what resolution they scan at?
Generally 300 dpi. They can go as high as 6, but for everything going into the FamilySearch needs to be 300 unless it's a little tiny picture, and then you go 600 so that it can be enlarged.
Yeah, remember that FamilySearch sets the parameters for how much memory you can upload.
Right. Okay. That's what it's wonderful you mentioned this, because I just was up north visiting family and brought back a bunch of photos, and was actually just scanning, and so knowing that there's a faster process with high-speed scanning, that sounds terrific.
Well, I would suggest that any of you who are interested, go ahead and call the Family Search Center and tell them that you'd like to set it up for sometime after the 5th, and that way you can be first in line.
That's
Let
great.
let me give you that telephone number.
Thank you.
Excuse
Go
me.
ahead.
I've used those scanners and they're very popular, and you need to call and make an appointment to get on a list or you won't be able to use them. I mean, that
Well,
was,
wait, right now,
that was
nobody's
before.
using them. So we're kind of, Sister Topham told me, she said, we are not putting that information on the website, nor are we giving that out to anybody unless they call us. So the main number would
So
be,
you heard it here first.
You guys are wonderful. Thank you.
would be 435 673 4591.
Thank you.
And if you lose that, just get on Google and type in St. George Family Search, and it'll come up, and that'll have the number on that wiki page there.
All right. Any other questions before we start?
Awesome.
Somebody said yes?
No, I think you got an awesome.
Okay.
That was an awesome for me. I disappeared. I'm just plugging my laptop in. You guys are an answer to prayer every week. Thank you.
Oh, good. I'm glad that we're doing something. All right. All of you should have received this flyer or an email for the Red Cliffs Utah Temple. Discover your groundbreaking opportunity. And so they're saying, what groundbreaking act of service will you perform to celebrate? Contact your ward temple and family history leader today or visit FamilySearch.org. And then they list a few things down here. To prayerfully choose your groundbreaker service, below are several suggestions on how you might prepare for the groundbreaking of the new Red Cliffs Utah Temple in November. If you don't have a temple recommend, prepare and get a temple recommend. All of you have an account on Family Search. Start your family tree and discover or add an ancestor.
Or we'd say finish your family tree.
Yeah, we want you to finish.
Finish it.
Add a memory, a photo, a story, a document. So you see, we've already talked about that and you know how to do that. Learn about the Ordinance Ready application. We have not talked about that, but we can talk about that in another presentation. Discover an ancestor needing temple ordinances and then reserve them for you and your family to perform. You know you can reserve ordinances now. And through the limited use of live endowments and other things, they are doing some names, not very many, but they are doing some.
Now,
So
of course, we're not going to say doing names, are we?
that's right. They're escorting their ancestors.
That's what I thought she said.
You can strengthen your relationships with your living family through family history activities in FamilySearch.org, and we've talked about some of those. And you can participate in One Batch Sunday.
How many's done their one batch this Sunday? Yay, good. I'm sure you'll get that done after we're finished.
So that's an indexing activity. So if you haven't received that, then contact your Elders Quorum or your Relief Society and say, hey, I want a copy of this. But what we're understanding is they want all of us to dedicate something in our lives to an act of service for an ancestor or some work that has been done in the temple.
So 2 questions, Sister Schaefer-Meyer.
Sure.
First is, was this sent to all stake members, or is it just coming through the Temple and Family History channel too?
As far as I know, it was sent to all stake members.
It was sent out by,
Brother Christensen sent it out, and then let's see who sent it to me. York Hepworth,
that's what
and I think he is the stake clerk.
Okay. Second question is,
Did you not
Did it-
get it?
has
I
anybody-
did get it, but we had our our committee meeting this past week, and we're like, okay, let's make sure it gets to everybody. And so that's good to know that it's.
There's, you know, as far as I'm concerned, bits and bytes are pretty cheap, mail. I can get things 2 or 3 different times and I'm okay.
Yep. Okay, that's good. And then second question, and everyone can chime in on this one. I haven't Googled this yet, but when is the groundbreaking for the temple?
I think it's well, it says it's in November.
It's by invitation only.
Is it? Okay.
Right. Yeah, you can't, none of us can attend.
Okay.
I don't think well, I'm not high enough up. So,
You never know.
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Thank
Even
you.
the angels will have masks on, we're told.
Okay, I have asked, let's see, I can share this. And now I can go over here. I have asked Sister Tracy, where did she go? Let's see here. Are you still here, Tracy?
I'm here.
Okay, Tracy Cammett. What ward are you from, Tracy?
I am in the North Bridge ward.
Good. I have asked her to give me a name of an ancestor, and then we're going to use her particular name to search and to show you how the search function works in FamilySearch. So Tracy, do you have a name?
I do have a name. It's my maternal great-grandmother. Her name is Elva Pearl George.
Elva Pearl George. Now, if that's all that I knew, I would go up here to Family Tree, and I would go to the Find function.
Okay.
And I'm going to type in Elva Pearl George. I don't know any more about her than that she's a female. So I'm going to go find. And it tells me that, look at how many Elva Pearl Georges. There is one Elva Pearl George. She was from Montana and Colorado. She's buried in Colorado. Does that happen to be it?
Yes, that's her.
Okay.
Okay, now where we went under Family Tree, we're looking in the Family Tree side of FamilySearch. So these are all of the records with their PID numbers on them.
Right. And what it does is it searched Elva, and then if it couldn't find Elva, no, it searched Pearl.
Oh,
If it couldn't find those two together, it would look for everyone that had George as a last name. And the only criteria that I gave it was a female. So that's one way. See, notice E Pearl, Pearl E, Pearl Emma. See how many
Don't go too fast.
different people it found there. And these would all be females. So then you would have to have some indication. In fact, it found, right over here, it found 204,146.
wow.
So you see how it's important to kind of keep track of those PID numbers when it's finding that many people. All right, so we're going to go into Elva Pearl's record here. Now,
This is a great grandmother,
Yes.
and she was born in 1900.
Mm-hmm.
So there's probably some of your family that has some recollections of her.
Oh, yeah.
well, and she died in 1975.
Uh-huh.
Now,
Yeah, let's keep the guilt going here just a little bit, as we see there at the top. Under
right here,
memories, Elva Pearl really doesn't exist. We don't know anything of her. It's kind of hard to turn my heart to that name there.
You're right. I need to find some memories because I don't have any.
Just make them up. That's what I say. Just make them up.
oh no, don't make them up. No, but it is important, see, as you look at that particular name and research it, to see if you can find some kind of a memory. And maybe today we will find a memory, who knows?
And Tracy,
Mhm.
do you have any pictures of her, photos?
No, I don't, but my mother does have a picture of her. I know it's sitting on, it's framed, it's sitting on one of her tables in her house. So.
Well, you could
Okay.
grab it and just put that in and put
The
it in.
next time you go to
That's a
your
good
mother's
idea.
home, take your smartphone,
Yeah,
put it on pictures and take a picture of that.
Or just go straight to memory so that it's uploaded right
And then you can upload it to your memories.
oh,
there.
okay.
Memories app and do it right then. Okay.
Yeah,
moving on.
we've talked about the memories app. Now, the very first thing I would do coming into this record right here, missing a standardized death place. Why have we said that that's important?
You haven't. You just said it's important. Now show them why.
Yeah, we've said.
Well,
Okay,
I don't know.
let's go down here. Here's the standardized death date. Notice this arrow or this exclamation point. So you simply go into edit. And right here, you're going to go down and put the cursor right behind United States. And you're going to hit the space bar. And it comes down and it says Denver, Arapahoe, Denver, Arapahoe. See, Denver is not the county. So it's Denver, Arapahoe.
Now, when did she, this is in her death, which is in 72.
70?
So it would have been
5.
1902 to present then.
Right.
The upper, the top one.
But see,
And-
that just
Oh, I
is Denver
see.
City. It's a major city, but you want the county. And so now we're going to change that. And now it's disappeared.
Okay.
Reason that that's important.
2 reasons. First off, when it's standardized, it makes it so much easier for the church's computers to go and search and find additional information for it, because it's looking at very specific names and places, and it doesn't want to have to try to guess what those are. So if it's standardized, it can find it much easier. The second reason is if we go up to timeline.
All right, see this timeline right here? It builds a,
Yeah.
it builds a little map of where everything happened. So here's all of the different things that your maternal grandfather did. Oh, look at that. There is a, oh, Macy,
Oh,
oh,
that's
the
a
death
parent.
of a parent. That was her mother there. And then if you go over and click on these, it will show you that she was married right here in Harv Hill, Montana. They lived right here in Cockrell, Montana. They had a child.
They
They
kept
had-
moving south. I think they
they
tried
had
to get away from the cold.
5 activities here. Whoops, let me get these 5 activities. And if you focus in, you can definitely see where everything is that happened to them. And then over here, here's the death of a parent over here in Hot Springs, or North Dakota, South Dakota. And then we come down here to Denver. You see how fun this is to show your children or even you, if you're looking for a migration route or if you're looking for where they live, over in this timeline, you can see very quickly, you know, where they lived in the United States. Oh, what happened clear over here in Oregon? The death of a parent. Now they had a death of a parent over here in South Dakota in 64, and then they had a death of a parent in 52. What took those 2 parents apart? You know, and that might be a question that you need to answer. So,
Yeah.
so anyway, it shows you on this timeline, and it builds the timeline, and then that standardized date or standardized place helps you pinpoint that on this map.
As well as standardized date. That's important
Yeah.
also.
So a question.
Yes.
So far, the work on my line has been centered in England. And so when I put in a standardized place, I did as you did. I just look and see the date of the event, and then I look for the standardized place that encompasses that date, and that's what I'm selecting. Is that correct? Am I doing that right?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good to me.
Yep.
But it sounds like in the US, and this is borne out by the records that I've been indexing, where they ask for the county. And it sounds like where possible in the US, if you can add the county standardized place for birth and death, that would be important as well.
Well, it would be. And in England, you're going to add a parish.
Right.
You would have a city and a parish, and then you would have the larger. It's not a county. It's a. I can't remember the term that it is.
I'm not helping.
And the parish is extremely important in English research, because that is usually where the church is located. So if you know the parish, you can then look for the church records that are associated with that parish. Okay, so if this is all I had, I would then go over here. We know that there are 6 sources attached to her. I had come down and there's a 1910 census and a 1920. If they're ever a residence, they include, that's from a census record. But if she was born in 1900, died in 1975, you should find her in 1930 and the 1940 census. And that would be important too. All right, apparently she had 2 husbands, Willard Durrett and a Walter Wolf. And did she have any children? Nope, no children that you know of from this first or second marriage. I can't tell.
Well, this is the strange thing is I actually think that both of her living children, she had 3, and one being my grandmother, but for some reason they have the last name Wolf, but they were actually, oh no, I'm getting confused. Sorry, I shouldn't talk.
No, it's all right.
No,
what
that's
family
fine.
history is all about. Is working.
There was, she actually ended up being divorced from both of them. But I think that Wolf must have come first. Well, does it have a year? How could I find out which one she was married to first?
Well, that's
Good
where we're going to
question.
search around then. So that would be your research question. You want to find the marriage dates. You have one. So we want to find the marriage dates for the Durretts. Okay. How many of you read this week on an email from FamilySearch or from the church or someplace else that the church now has 8 billion searchable records in FamilySearch?
Yes, I saw that. That was fabulous.
8 billion now. Now, a lot of those are duplicates, so don't think that they're all just the same people, but a lot of those are duplicates. However, with 8 billion, you should be able to find something. So the very first thing I would do is go to FamilySearch. So I clicked on FamilySearch, and that's going to go out to the search part of FamilySearch. And it's going to say, okay, anything that meets any of these criteria.
So it automatically populates all of the information that you have on her on the left-hand side and uses it as your search criteria.
Right.
Results, of course, on the right-hand side.
And it's going to say that she was born in Montana, and it's going to give you a year range. Sometimes when I think that maybe that year is off, I'll add 2 or 3 years to one side or the other side of that. So you could change that to 1995 simply by clicking right there.
Birth year, which better be 1895.
Or 1895. Let's go 1895 to, I'm not really sure, so we're going to go 1905. So now I've increased the range on that. Her marriage place was in Montana between 1917 and 1921.
But we're looking for a marriage information. We don't know when it was.
Right. So let's search for marriage information up to 1950. You see, and that way maybe I can capture if she was
Both of
married
them.
to Wolf first and then the Durrett later, maybe we can capture that. And then she died in Colorado. Now we're going to put spouse, and we are going to put his last name. And if I remember right,
Woof. And
Durrett. Okay, I gotta get this out of the way. Where can I put this?
Just drag it over to the side a little bit.
Okay. So I'm gonna go back here. Durrett. Now, this is a little used restrict records by. If I'm looking for a marriage record, I'm going to go type, and I'm going to say I want marriages.
okay.
So I don't want births or baptisms. I don't want census. Let's just search in marriages. So now you can limit the way, you can restrict the way that you're searching. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that this type field is very much overlooked when people are searching. They'll just search every record and you'll have, well, right now we have 816 records that have come up. And by limiting the type, watch what happens when I click update. Now, oh, there's no results.
Oh, that was perfect.
Well, we're done.
So what does that tell me? That tells me that maybe it wasn't in Montana. I'm going to click out Montana. See, you got to play tricks with the database to see where any of that goes. Now let's go back and find out his first name, Willard.
Willard.
Okay, well, it didn't yield any results with that, so maybe somebody spelled his name wrong. Let's try.
Putting her married name as her last name. Wolf.
This is the spouse's name.
Yes, but she's saying that you want to put,
Under her name.
Oh,
somewhere.
yes, that's true.
but not in the marriage license. The marriage license or marriage information would have that.
Yep,
Now,
but
you're
that's
right. If we were going to look in the
If I find it that way.
all right. Let's change her name to Wolf. See how?
Well, it still looks like you have Montana in the search. Is that my,
Well, that's birthplace and
oh, birth.
birthplace.
Okay.
Okay, so here is a Elva Pearl. So we have a Myrtle, a Gladys, and a Wolf Eagle, who is a mother-in-law there.
That's a good name for a mother-in-law right there.
Well, and look at the spouse's name is little L.
All right, so you see that search didn't get me any place. All right, and when I'm really frustrated like that,
Yeah.
but you see how to manipulate the data. Take things in and out. Don't be afraid to mess with the data on this side. It's searching the records and you never know what's, exactly in those records. We could even try this.
Oh.
Elva Pearl, maybe she married him first. So let's try that one. Nope, there are no results for that particular person.
Well,
Now, see,
now get rid of Willard down here.
okay, I'll get rid of Willard.
Let's see if
And here is a John E. Durrett who married a Mabel Z. de France. Okay, let's try this. Now whoops.
Kenna, would you ever go to the census records and see if you could find them in a census to narrow, so at least you'd know that they were married before that year?
you bet.
Oh, definitely. I'm just showing you how to manipulate. This is the first place that I do. I manipulate all I can. And now I'll show you how to go and use some other records.
You could also go later than 1950. If she lived to 1975, maybe she got married, in 1970.
That's true. Let's go to 70.
Cougar that she was.
Hey, it is possible. Okay, so we have 105 results
Hey,
for an
there's a
even
pearl.
pearl wolf. Now here's a pearl wolf, but she married a Michaels.
Wait a minute. Who's this?
Pearl E married a Bernard Favreau in Logan, Colorado. E Wolf married a Fred Bainey. But the point I want to make here is that don't be afraid over on this side to manipulate this data.
Yeah,
Take
thanks.
things-
I didn't know you could do that.
Take things out, put things in.
Surprisingly, taking things out is oftentimes better.
Right. So I'm just going to take out marriage right now, and now it's going to search all kinds of things.
Get rid of her birthplace.
And
Yeah, we don't have her true last name either.
yeah, I've changed that, but we can change. So she was probably married in 1930. If I was looking for a 1930 census, in fact, here is a 1920 census. We already know that we have her at the Crow Reservation in Bighorn in 1920.
Wait a minute, when did she get married to the wolf?
Got married to him, it says in 1919.
Okay, so
And
she would have been 19 years old.
You see what I'm doing also?
So that would have to be her first marriage, yeah.
Yeah, you see what I'm doing also? It builds another tab, and so I just go and look among those two tabs and manipulate however I want to manipulate. Well, I can't find what I'm looking for there. So if you look at the name FamilySearch, you have family and search. To get to those 8 billion records, really, you have to go to the search part, right here where it says search. And then you have all of these options. So we're going to go into records here. And when I come up to records, this right here on the left-hand side, search historical records, is exactly the same thing as clicking on that family search in their detailed view. It is exactly searching that. This side here, research by location, is different. You click on Browse All Published Collections. Everybody misses this right here. So I'm going to click on Browse Public Collections, and we're going to type in Montana right here. And here are all of the Montana records that we have. So you have a death index, you have the manifest, Montana marriages. See, there's only 16,000 of those.
Not too many people in Montana get married.
So that means that something's missing there because that number's not high enough. And then they go down by different images here. So here's a Bighorn County. Yeah, here's a Bighorn County that I could look at. Here's Montana by county marriages, 1865 to 1950. Notice it has 331,000. And it was last updated in November the 28th of 2018. So you know how current those records are. If I remember, she was over here in the Bighorn County records. And so I just want to search that collection. And we're going to search by the name of Wolf. That's all I'm going to type in, notice. I didn't type anything else in. I get 1,160 results. Well, that's too many for me to look at. And so I'm going to put in here just Elva. And see, it took the E and it's gone down through there. Anything with an E or starts with an E.
Oh, wait a minute. Go back to the top. You got to say it. Is anybody afraid of this one?
Virginia Woolf. Okay, then I'm going to type in the name Pearl because a lot of times they did not go by that first name. So here is a Pearl Wolf Black. That's an interesting one, who died in 2008.
Not ours then.
Well, I just want to make sure. She died in 1975. Okay.
So Shannon, I have another question about the search.
Okay.
When you have the E, the first one's had the E as the middle initial. So should you scroll down to the E's in the first name to see if Elva was the first name, or would it have put the first name first in the list?
It would have put the first name first in the list. It would have put all the E's first in the list, and then it takes any
Initials.
character that has an E in that first name block. And see, it's only searching in that first name block. That's the way a database works. Now, if I wanted to be very, very specific about things, I could click that I want to match these exactly. And now it's going, now watch what it does. There is not one pearl wolf
It's spelled
that
exactly
is
that way.
spelled exactly that way in Bighorn County.
Now,
Right?
let's talk about that just briefly. You know that that is exactly that, the name, the way the name is spelled, right? I know that that is the way that that name really was. That's the way she had it. That's the way it is. But the thing of it is, whoever's making that record, is that the way they wrote it down? And is that the way the person that was indexing it indexed it? So be very careful about clicking you want it exact. You may know it's exact, but that doesn't mean that's how it is on the record.
Right. And how many, okay, here's taking what he has said there. What if I think that they did it by an A? When you're writing out wolf, sometimes it looks like an A. The O looks like an A. So if I don't know, what you can do is you can put a question mark in there. And by doing it with the question mark, now you're going to get, there's 38 results right here. And it picks up walks.
Or bad boy number one.
Yeah. And it you know, see, so it picks up some other things. What if I thought there was something on the end of that? Let's put a question mark there. Let's see what it'll spell there. So there's all the wolf spelled with an E. What if I don't know? Then I put an asterisk there, Shift 8 asterisk. That will take WO, and any name that is spelled with the WO will now be picked up. So notice how many we're going to get. See, we've got wolf, you've got wolf black, you've got wounded eye, you've got woman. See, so you've
woman
got
that sits down. I love this database.
Well, we're on the reservation, it looks
Yes,
like.
we are.
All right, I'm not finding any information in that, so I'm just clicking the back button here. We're going to go back here to these marriages again. There's an easier way to do it. Go to records.
By the way, I don't know how to spell Shumia Tutonka.
Yeah, published all, browse all published collections. Montana. All right, and here's all of the records for Montana. And let's come down here to the one on Montana County marriages. And what I'm going to do here is let's search on Elva Pearl. Whoops, not Elva Pear. Elva Pearl.
See how mistakes are made?
Yeah. See, just by taking that one letter out, I removed 6,000 people from that search. Here's a Pearl Elva Pearl. Okay, and that's way too many. So now I want to do Elva Pearl George. And what this strategy is you're working from a micro or a macro to a micro. So I just put in a little bit of information, and that's the macro on it. And then I start adding information to get down to the micro. Notice it went from 900 and something, about 90,000 down to 54.
Mhm.
That's much easier for me to search. And if I do this Pearl George, born 1900 in Chester,
I think we just
Montana.
found something.
Well, we did,
Yeah.
but it's already been attached.
Oh, that's attached. That's right. That's,
But here's the record right here. And if you want to see the record, that tree means it's already been attached to her record.
now that was in 1917, correct?
But yeah, but that's not then transferred into their marriage information to, oh, yeah, that was the first.
It has been.
No, because it said 1919, didn't it?
Yeah.
So here's
Yeah.
Walter Wolf of Chester, Montana, 25 years old. He was born in South Dakota. He's white. His previously married son of Henry Wolf, his mother's maiden name was Carolyn Bettner.
Not previously married. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, not
Not
previously
previously
married.
married.
Pearl George, she was 17. So that 17 tells me that he's got to be her first husband.
Yes.
I wouldn't think that, you know.
Yeah.
But this gives you, if you did not have her mother or father, you now have them. And then it says, yeah, this was 1917.
Let's check here.
Day of the marriage right here, 8th of September, 1917. So we come over here and 8th of September, 1917. So you need to come in here and you need to change this marriage from 1919 to 1917. And the reason that you do is because, and then you can add this, if we didn't have this as a source attached to that, which it already is, but we can attach this again. What I can do here is I can go, you attach trees and person and I'm trying to get this to the source box. All right, there it is right there. And it's unfinished too. So it hasn't been attached to everybody.
It's mentioned in it.
I'm going to view the source and I'm going to take this over to,
I don't think, but I can't come up with it either.
I wanted to put this over in your source box, but it's not going to let me.
Well, that's because it's your source box.
Anyway, we could go here and finish these attachments. We're not going to do that right now. But I'm going to let you do that, Sister Tracy.
Okay.
But there she is right there. Now, let's go down and put Elva Pearl and put Wolf right there. So we know that she was a wolf. And let's see if we can find any Elva Pearls. We have 97. Yeah, not seeing anything there. We're going to take Elva out because she went by Pearl the last time. Okay, Zella Pearl. I'm not seeing any wolves there. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to do this. Is it ATT or ETT?
ETT.
ETT. I'm going to see if there's any Durettes that were married that are in this file. So there's 15. Helen Cornelius, William H. Durrett.
What was his first name?
I didn't write it down, but you've always got this tab, Willard. Nope. All right, so I'm going to go back out here to records.
Okay, so now you're of course assuming from where you're trying to search here that it was in Montana.
Right, so that's why I'm going to go back out here to records and go Willard. Durrett.
So now we're searching.
So
much
now I'm
broader.
just searching on him, and here's a Willard G. Durrett
And the spouse is Pearl.
And his spouse is Pearl right there. And in 1930, they are living together. And this looks like it has been attached too. So I'm going to go over here. Has a 1930 been attached to her record? No way. All right. So it's been attached to his record, but not hers. So I'm going to go look at that. What?
So those could be children from another spouse, so it might be attached to his first marriage as
Maybe.
opposed to her.
I have no idea who they attached it to.
Again, it may be only attached to him and just not completed.
Not
like that other one
completed.
we looked at.
So here is right here. I hope you guys can see that.
Yeah.
Here's a Durrett Willard G. His wife is Pearl. And he is the head of the household, and they rent their house. And you see this little H right here? She's the one that gave the information. In this particular record, she is the one that gave the information for this. So he's a male, white, he's 40. They have been married right here. That's what this column is right here. She was married to him when she was 21 or 27, and he was 21. If we go right up here.
I told you she was a cougar.
If we go right here, it says age at first marriage.
Oh, at first marriage.
Ah,
Oh.
okay.
Right. So now she's lying. She was
now
17
she's
and
lying.
she hit 21. Oh boy, woman who speaks with forked tongue. I think we got her picked.
She's 27. Is that what it said? It was 27? She was 17 when she
No, it said
got.
21.
21.
27 now.
No,
No,
it
it said-
says 27. All right, and he was born in Wyoming. His parents were born in Virginia. Her parents were born in Arkansas and Missouri, as was his mother. He's a farmer, mixed farming. He can read and write.
So I would assume that she just took that to mean, how old were you when you got married? And she
Now,
said
that's a
27.
mystery that you've got to find out. Was she, in 10 years after she had those 3 children, let's take a look back there.
There's 2 ways I could look at that. That 27 could be that she says that's how old she was when she got
She
married.
got
this
married
time.
to him at
Or
this
he had
time.
just written down 21 as how old the husband was, and she said 17, and he put the 2 down and put the 7 behind it again.
Right.
Oh.
All right. Now, she had these 2 children or 3 children, 1919, 1920, 1921. So in 1930, we know that she was married to him. So between 1921 and 1930 is when they got married.
So you could go in the marriage record and say before
So
1930.
you could go here, you could go add an event, and you're going to say between 1922 and 1930. And you're going to put down here probably Montana. Now, the reason that you do that is because this is based on the 1930 U.S. federal census. Okay, so that gave you just a little bit narrower of a window to look at. Now, where were they living? They were living in Pine Creek, Crook County, Wyoming. Now, I'm going to put this over, you see where it says source box? You know, of course, this will be in my source box and not your source
It's not
box.
hers, it's yours.
Okay, so what I want you to do, Tracy, is I want you to retrace those steps, go back to this 1930 census, and what I did, let's go back and trace our steps so that you can see what we did.
That'll be a good recap because I'm sure we're all spinning here a little bit.
Right.
How did you get here?
Okay, we got here by putting search records. And I want you to put Willard, D-U-R-R-E-T-T. And that's all that you're going to put in that box.
In that search.
And there it should come up, the very first one. And here he is as a son in 1920. So you know that, and it looks to me like this record is attached to him. And I could go to his box. I could go to.
What I would like to know is, are these her children, this Calvin and
Calvin
Alma?
and Alma.
Calvin and Alma are, but Sydney's missing, which means that he passed away.
Sydney died.
But see, he died in 1920.
Yeah.
Okay, so just those two children.
Yeah, and what you can do then, let's see, let's find his ID number for you.
Well, there's a Bert. Oh, there's an Uncle Bert.
Well, but that's in, that's when he's a child, yeah. It is not going to his record at all because I found him that way. So to find him over on the family tree side, we have to do this. We have to go find. You see how the two sides don't talk to each other sometimes? Yeah. And he is a male. And so we're going to do this. Willard.
I'm not sure what you're trying to find.
I'm trying to find his PID number so she doesn't.
Well, right here.
What?
Over there, quick there.
Oh.
There it is.
It is right here. Duh.
See, I do have a purpose.
Okay, and you can go in and edit his name, and we can put Willard G. Save. Oh, and there's that 1930 record. Okay, so we're going to go into his sources, view source, and it is unfinished attachments.
So again, you need to go in and finish that up and tie it to his wife,
Yep.
Pearl.
So see how easy this is going to be.
Don't do it.
You're going to go into Willard's record. There's that 1930, and you're going to do this, and then you will not add them as children. But what you do is you change this now to Eva Pearl, and then you can then come down and change the spouse to Walter, and then you can add those two children like that.
How did you change the spouse again?
Right here,
First you get an attorney.
right here, whenever it has this little caret icon, it says all spouses.
Perfect. Okay.
So you just go over and click on the different spouse.
Oh, okay.
And that puts the children with the right father, and you link them there rather than doing two records because you want the children linked to the correct father.
And follow that a little further. You can see
Shanna.
you can change and get the
Right
parents
here,
and
how to
others.
change, and you can change to different people right
In that
here
record.
in that record.
Oh,
Yes.
A lot of times I'll have other on record down here at the bottom on the left. So
Yes, other on there.
many times that's like a child that I don't have in my records. So is
Uh-huh.
there a way to get to add that child without going back to the original record?
You have to see where I hover over it with my mouse cursor. See that hand? And then it changes to this little thing, and you can drag and drop it.
But you're saying if it's a new person that you don't have,
Yeah. If it's a new person, if she's saying that it's a child that they found, but it's not there, then you can just
bring up
hover
into the
hover
children.
over it and go over right here, the up and down. You left click, hold, and then just drag it
Now
wherever
drop it in children as though uncle was actually a child.
Well, I don't want to.
Well, you can put him there and then move him again.
So that's okay. I got the idea. Thank you very much. That just saved me hours.
Okay, well, that's taken our time for today, but I wanted to show you, we've looked on the family side. I wanted to show you that there is this search side. We didn't even scratch the surface of that search side, so we'll keep going on that. Next week, I will call on one of you to give me a name also, and we'll go in and do the same thing. But I think we've pinned down at least a little bit when she married this
Yeah.
rat.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
You can keep looking there.
Yeah.
So did you mean next week or the week after general
Or
conference?
the week after general conference,
You got
yes.
2 weeks to get that homework done.
We'll go in and look at this record again. See, I can get on your records. It will say that I changed the name of it. I should have done that through the helper number. And maybe we'll go through the helper number to show you how to help someone. Most of you are not consultants, right? Okay.
No, we call those prospective consultants.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We've got
That
better
gives you
people.
some things to think about this week and to go in and explore. Questions?
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. We'll see you in 2 then.
All right. Thank you.
See you too. Have a good general conference. Thank
Thanks.
you.
For her, but not for her family.
Mark, do we know you?
Hello?
Hello?
John,
Yeah, this is John.
okay.
Yeah, no, I'm new at this stuff. So I'm just following along to try and understand. Do I have a picture on?
Nope.
No.
No.
That's
okay.
all right. We can talk to
What
you
would
about
I?
the picture.
Go ahead, experiment
Okay.
until you figure it out.
I'm. Yeah, that's what I was being careful not to expose or not expose anything on picture wise, but I did voice about the temple being dedicated, being recommended, and I understood that you heard my voice.
We did, thank you.
So
Yeah, you're participating even though we can't see you.
all right,
And
on the
John, if you're really new, we have gone from searching around in FamilySearch. We're kind of building on this. So we would be glad to go back and review anything.
well, today I'm only on my cell phone, and that I understand is a little bit limiting as far as seeing the screen. I'd have to zoom in on it once in a while, or on the I do have one question on the is it PI what number? What what's
PID,
that?
personal identification.
PID?
Personal
PIN.
identification number. It's called PID.
Okay.
Right here.
Thank
So
you.
you're going to copy the ID, personal identification number.
Yeah, I've seen that with everybody. My question is when you've identified that number and then you how many things can you do that, you know, with that number and with another PID number? Let's say that the two people are living and their records aren't, you know, available.
Mm-hmm.
But does that expedite any kind of a quick connection?
It
or
will
to
not
see if you're
search by
related
PID
or-
numbers for living people. It only uses the PID for those who have passed on. Now, the reason for that is because
Okay.
it wants to keep privacy. When you create a living person in FamilySearch, you've created, in essence, a duplicate record, a duplicate from the church.
Which is fine.
And that's great. But when they die, then it will show that there's a duplicate record out there for them. And so then you would have to merge the two together. The church has the original PID.
Yeah, that exists for my mother, who's been passed away 5 years.
Mhm.
Mhm.
and it's still showing 2 of them. So so you can merge those 2 together?
Yes,
You can, but my guess is that you'd have to go in and look at each one. So click on,
Which it forces you to do when you merge them.
well, yes, but before you merge
Yeah.
it, you have to go in and mark her as deceased.
Which he's done.
You can't mark a deceased and a living. You can't merge deceased and living together.
That's why it's showing up that there's a
Okay,
duplicate.
so
because he's marked
Okay.
as deceased.
Yeah, then merge those 2 together.
so it sounds like you would want to somebody in the family would have a copy of the death certificate, and you would want to probably source that.
Yeah,
It probably
Or
already
is that
is.
even necessary?
you could probably
Recognize-
already find it.
Recognize when she dies, the church is going to mark her as deceased, and then her record will become visible to everyone. Now you've got a corresponding record that you created with, which is a duplicate of her. You mark her deceased, and then it's going to say there's 2 there that need to be combined. Now, if your siblings also had a record of her, they would mark her deceased, and there'd be even more. They may have done that and may have already merged them. And so you just need to get yours merged. and completed.
Yes, and then
Okay, I
go and find a death certificate and scan it in, or use the Memories app and take a picture of it and put it on FamilySearch, and then attach it as a source.
Okay, I'm sure one of my spouses, one of my siblings has already done that, but I haven't done it on mine. So
Well, no, you
Correct.
only
Is
have
it-
to
is that
do
what
it
you're
on
saying?
one.
If
Go
it's-
into the record and click on Memories. You see,
Okay, when you merge them, you're not getting rid of any information. So whatever they put there will now just be combined into the record that you had. And so if it's already there, you don't need to redo it. Once it's merged together, it'll show all of the current data. Nothing will be thrown away, but
Okay.
no reason
go
to
and look at
duplicate.
your mother's record and then click on sources. Am I still I'm still sharing the screen, aren't I?
Yeah.
See, right here under sources,
yeah, I can.
go and look under
You want to just
sources
give
and
her her
see
name and we can just
what's
pull her up?
there, or memories. And if there's a memory, then you can use that memory as a source also.
Okay. Yeah, I just need to get a little more familiar with how to update things or how to correct them.
Okay, well, write down your questions, and at the first of every session, we will take your